Hey guys, so I guess this is part two of our BPL season 4 series. As so, the first two battles I've already discussed the first two battles in my original draft, and this video I'm gonna go over like team changes I made, which was pretty much like the entire rest of my FAs because I think I did it all at once. And basically speaking, all I have to say is, well, we'll just get started. So, I think I'll add in a battle here just to like, you know, make it interesting. So, so with the first few weeks of the season, I kind of got a feel of the team where it was going, and I realized that I needed more bulk and more priority, as well as like more of a defensive like backbone. So as you say, and you're probably saying you want stall, Black. You just want stall. I wish that were that easy, my friend. But like, yeah, like so, like here's the thing. I wanted to look through and see what changes I was going to be making because like in the upcoming battles, I had a feeling that I wouldn't be bringing like Lucario, Aromatisse, or even Noivern. So these were the main Pokemon I was like thinking about trading or like FAing. And I already talked about Licky Licky, and this was originally Tauros. And I felt that like Licky Licky was probably the better cleric of the two in terms of budget. And while I would love to keep Aromatisse, I felt that having like Aromatisse and like, Licky Licky together was excessive. So now thankfully I did have a little bit of points to spend. I think around 40 or like 20. I don't know how much, but like either way, it allowed me to like to look into like saw a possible tier 1 or tier 2. But then when I started considering like a possible tier 2 change, I realized that the points didn't work out unless I dropped one of my tier 1s, which was like Mew or Volcarona. And then I realized, like going through the upcoming battles, that like mons like Noivern and Volcarona as well as Lucario, we're gonna have like they're gonna be like really bad in terms of like possible matchups. And I realized that um I forgot which one in particular. I think it was like I realized that um Volcarona, like I think all the teams had a very solid Volcarona check. And not only that, like if you think about it, Mew, Volcarona, and Suicune pretty much want to run the same set, which is like Calm Mind, Quiver Dance. You know what I mean? Like Calm Mind, basically. Plus like attack, plus special defense. So there's already a conflict in that aspect. Then you have the whole Arrow, Gliscor, and then Noivern. Since they kind of do the same thing in terms of being a cleaner, like chipper, or etc., etc., and they all share the same ice weakness. And I knew that I knew I had to like drop Noivern because I'm not dropping Gliscor at all. Like Gliscor was already a good ground type, and I just don't think it's already proven itself in battle. So it's like one of those mons that like you just want to keep for like the later rounds of the season. So yeah, and a Rotom, while I didn't use it, I thought maybe it had some viability in the upcoming battles. So yeah, and Silvally, well, I didn't want to drop it because has every type in the game. It has every type, and it just like I've mentioned, multi attack can be pretty good in certain battles. So that left very very few options like Arrow, Suicune, and like Volcarona. And I thought Suicune, by the way, was really good in the first 2 weeks. So I thought I was gonna keep it. And an Arrow was like I did consider changing Aerodactyl, but then I realized there are not that many fast Pokemon left. And Arrow is a decent rocker and decent cleaner, so it's like at least add another rocker, if I'm gonna change these two. So yeah, like let's just start off like with changes. So I decided to change. The first thing I wanted to do was change Volcarona, And the first thing I thought about was having a more defensive Pokemon in mind. And it was actually from Tier B. I think, as you'll see, that Pokemon is actually Buzzwole. And Buzzwole is a Tier B Pokemon, so it allowed me to get like 2 extra Tier C Pokemon, which could like buff up my team overall in terms of like quality Pokemon. So yeah. But in terms of what Buzzwole brought to the table, I mean, it gave me a Pokemon that could deal with those pesky rocks, those pesky like basically offensive Pokemon in general. And I had something that could finally be like a solid physical wall. Now, granted, this thing is not like really Spadef based, but Buzzwole, I've used it before, and it's very strong in terms of its like coverage. It has Stab, Drain Punch, Leech Seed, so you could base it off of essentially like you could base that off of you could basically recover with those attacks, and then you have access to Beast Boost, Bulk Up. I believe what's that one move that used that to set up immediately? Fuck, what do you call that? Well, I swear it right there. That's why my channel's not, so. Spell Stinger. Yeah. And of course, Sting's really defensive. It actually has access to Taunt, so that's kind of interesting as well. It has some cool bug moves like Lunge, which lowers the opponent's attack. It has Ice Punch and like Thunder Punch, Earthquake. Of course, Bulk Up. Drain Punch is its overall good stab. And it has like some other stronger stabs, but it's like weird, like Superpower, Hammer Arm, but they all have drawbacks. But overall, I like Buzzwole being like that physically defensive Pokemon that can handle like opposing Steel types, opposing Rock types. Like it's a very nice Pokemon that could just handle those defensive mons or those offensive mons that are like usually good with those like on the defensive side or on the offensive side. So attack, special attack, not so much, but I mean you have the other mons to deal with it. So yeah. Obviously, this doesn't mean that I have to drop Lucario, but this also means that I'm getting something better than Lucario, and we're getting Entei. And yeah, I still have E-Speed, so like off of base like 110 plus attack, so it's pretty cool. The one thing I like about Entei now is that it has access to heavy duty boots, and you could change its nature now with the nature mints, possibly, depending if Entei is allowed in the DLC or not. But you can now run Jolly Entei, which is cool. So I could run like base 100 to outspeed, like say something like a Mimikyu or like a Haxorus. Oh god, I know whoever hears that, they're gonna know. Well, I just hinted at it, even though I just battled the guy. They know, so yeah. So anyways, like being able to like burn him with Sacred Fire is huge. Man, I miss how Burn was back in the day, where like it does 12%, which is pretty stupid damage if you think about it. 12% per turn is pretty good. So you have access to Flare Blitz, not False Surrender. I wish you had more coverage, Entei. Man, the DLC did you dirty. So it has access to Stone Edge, Stomping Tantrum, Toxic, Wisp. The coverage is very limited, but I mean you have enough to work with, and its defensive stats are really okay. Like its bulk is amazing if I think about it, compared to like let's say something like Cario. You're able to like maybe just go in and just go attack your opponent with like maybe like a banded boosted like Flare Blitz, E-Speed, or you could just be sub leftovers, just be annoying with sub toxic. So yeah, and this is what I meant by bulk, because with Entei, with having Sacred Fire, I'm able to burn my targets, which thus allows well, look at that, another move that's based off of 50-50, just like Volcarona's Fiery Dance. So okay, that's a little tangent there, but as you can see, this allows my team to handle physical offensive mons like that could be very annoying in upcoming battles. So yeah, and I could burn targets, which can be very huge. So that's all I have to say about Entei. I mean, I have Entei and Suicune, so and Rotom could be the Raikou, so I'm gonna nickname it Raikou right now. So it could be Raikou. It could be it's now Raikou now. So I guess Savali as well if I ever run it. So yeah, this could have been a Raikou, but I don't know. So for next Pokemon, and this was very important. I was actually debating on changing like Aromatisse to two Fairy types, and both Fairy types were like very interesting to me. Like, and I went back and forth into this, and until I realized, you know, I could get Primarina, and Primarina was Tier C. Oh wait, that's not here. Primarina is pretty interesting for a Tier C because the other one I was thinking was Hatterene, but I already have a Psychic type, and I don't like compounding Psychics unless they did different roles. And Hatterene and Mew are kind of like I had those two in like another league, and they kind of conflicted with each other in terms of like bring whether I brought Hatterene or Mew. But I felt that like if I like in the end I felt like this team was built more around Primarina, or not built around it, but like it supported Primarina if I ever brought it, than if I brought Hatterene. So yeah, but I still think it would have been good. So it's just that Prim just fits in very well here compared to like Hatterene. So like like it wouldn't conflict with Mew as much as what it could conflict with like Suicune. So I think having two bulky waters is like fine, or one bulky water and one offensive water and fairy, So yeah. So in terms of like Primarina, this thing is super underrated in my opinion. It has access to Calm Mind now. It has access to basically a way to set up, and with base 126 special attack, this thing is what's that? Calm Mind, it's deadly. You have access to Moonblast. You have even Drain Kiss now, which can give you recovery, which is pretty low key. Now you actually ran Encore on Primarina, like against this one guy, and it just, yeah, let's just be honest, the guy wasn't happy. So yeah, I honestly think this or Substitute is like a legit set that I could just bring with Primarina almost every week, if I still might bring it. There's also like Perish Trap. You could also run Perish Song Whirlpool now, which is kind of scary if you think about it, because you could trap whatever you think is really bad for you, and then you could just do it. I know Mew can also do it with his Imprison block, but Primarina can also do it as well, but for free. So yeah, assuming I could get it up. So yeah, but overall, I think Primarina offered a lot of things that Suicune can't do. It could be an offensive water or fairy, and it could just be a trapper. So, and it was very much a good like fairy type to have, based off what I had left, and I thought my team at the time just supported Primarina very well than like compared to like the rest of my team. So the last Pokemon, as you notice, I'm missing a Steel type, and I'm going to drop a Dragon type, so I'll be missing a Dragon type Pokemon, but I felt that, Steel was important. Last Pokemon I got was Metagross. And Metagross, I only got it because of the stats, because it still has access to, like, Stab, Bullet Punch, Stab, like, well, it has access to Rocks and Bullet Punch, so that was the only reason why I got it. But just look at those stats. Man, they did Metagross dirty with the Gen 6 Bolt. I always still refer to that, but then Metagross would be broken, or Aegislash would be probably broken. But I don't know. He'd be the judge. But yeah, like I wanted a really good Steel type, and Metagross was the only Mon that I liked from Tier C that wasn't drafted. So yeah, I got this guy, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So that pretty much rounds off my team for the overall season. And honestly, I really like this squad. Like, despite having no Dragon type, I still feel like this is probably one of my better squads I had drafted in a while. So, especially with these changes, gives me like, obviously with Metagross, I'm just gonna go back here. I get like a Pokemon that could be a possible choice band Mon user, with clear bonding, this could be really huge, especially when facing it against any Intimidate mons. And of course, I think the reason why I got it was because there was a lot of people with Latios, Latias, Megalatios, not just in like the league or division I'm in, but in the other division as well. So yeah. So let's just see what happens. And also, I have another rocker that's not Gliscor, Arrow, or Mew. So yeah, though Mew would preferably run spikes. So yeah. That's all I have to say about this team. So overall, I liked how it's like very bulky offensive. And one thing about this team, or about all these guys, is that they're very offensive in some fashion. Like Buzzwole has 135, 139 attack right off the bat. Entei is 115 with strong stabs. Primarina is like 126 special attack. And Metagross is 135. So these guys give me immediate offense. Like this is something that my team was lacking, which was like immediate firepower, and now I have that, and I have like my priority like dispersed now instead of like Lucario being my only priority option between like now Entei and Metagross. I guess Primarina now has priority, so yeah, and I guess Mew as well. But overall, this team is pretty nice, and I do like how the speed tiers are. Like this guy's base 100, this one's base 79. Base 85, well this guy is the only one that was kind of like jumps up. 95, 86, 95, 100. Now thanks to the village, the nature change, 60, like 70 and 50. So there's some very good speed tiers I got like that are ascending if you think about it. But after 100, that's just like that's probably the only thing I noticed with this team is that I didn't have anything between base 100 and base 150. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say. So we'll just go over my the last thing, which is like the week 3 battle. So, I'll see you guys in a bit.